Cha idam. Pranjali with folded hands. Pranataha, he started obeisances. Cha idam, in this way, he started speaking. To whom Veda Garbham Abhasata. He is speaking to his father, Lord Brahma, who is known as Veda Garbha, personification of Vedas. Tvameka Sarva Bhutanam Janmakrut Vrittida Pita. Oh my dear father, Pita, Tvamekaha, you are alone. Sarva Bhutanam, for all living entities, Janmakrut, the cause of their birth, Vrittidaha, and the cause of their professions. Tatapina Prajanam Te, we are all your sons, we are all your dependents who are born of you. Shushusha Kenava Abhaved, please order us how we will be able to render service unto you, how we will be able to serve you. So in that purport, Prabhupada says, a father's duty is to bring up the son until he is grown, and when the son is grown up, it is a duty to render service unto the father. The duties of father and duties of son has been enumerated. Next, Tad videhi namastubhyam karmashu idhyatma shaktishu. He is saying, oh my dear worshipable one, idyaha. So, Tad videhi, please give us direction. Namastu, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Karmashu Atma Shaktishu, how I will be able to perform according to my capacity. Instruct as per my capacity. Atma Shaktishu. Yat Krutva Krutveha Yasho Vishwag. By performing it, Yat Krutva Yasho Vishwag. I will gain fame in this world. Amutra cha Bhaved Gatihi, and I will be able to attain better destination in the next life. So you instruct me in a way that I can perform to my capacity. See the realistic perception. He is not saying, give me something which I may be able to perform or not perform. Understanding my capacity, instruct me that I will be able to perform as per my limitation. Atma Shaktishu. And you should that activity in such a way that I will be able to gain fame in this life by performing, and I will be able to have better destination in the next life. That kind of activity, please execute or give instructions upon. So, I was just trying to read in Prabhupada's perspective. So, what are the duties of a father and the duties of a son? So, that is the point what has been enumerated here. So, Prabhupada spoke on this subject at various places, multiple locations. So, some points may be repetitive, but some element of that point is unique to that. So, this is essential for all human beings, and it is the duty of the father, spiritual master, and ultimately the state to take up the responsibility of leading the citizens towards the path of God realization. So, the primary duty of either parent or a spiritual master or the head of a state is to lead the citizens towards God realization. This is the duty first. Next, it is the duty of a father to become a Vaishnava and to raise his children to become Vaishnavas. Then even if by chance a father falls down, the son can deliver him as Prithu Maharaj delivered his father. It is the duty of the father, spiritual master and the king to regulate their subordinates in such a way that ultimately they become fully unalloyed devotees of the Supreme Lord. Not just devotees, they should become unalloyed devotees, pure devotees of the category. As long as a living entity in the form of a child or boy is innocent, it is the duty of the father and mother to lead him in a proper understanding of the values of life. So, the character has to be built when he is as a boy. Values of the life has to be taught. Next, the duty of a father is to give cultural education to his sons, and who must later decide which way to go. So, the duty of a father is to give cultural education, and the son can decide where he wants to go. Responsible fathers should not hinder their sons who are making cultural advancement in association with Krishna consciousness. So, Prabhupada is indirectly hinting. Father should not obstruct. If the son wants to become a monk, the parents should not obstruct. Prabhupada is very clear. It is a duty of a father to understand the astrological position of his child and do what is needed for their happiness. See, a person when he is born, to his capacity, designate him accordingly. He is born as a Kshatriya and you are teaching him as a Brahmana. It doesn't work. He is born as a Brahmana and you are teaching him Kshatriya. Misfit. Like somebody has inclination to become a doctor. You are teaching him engineering. It doesn't make sense to him. Like that. So as per his astrological condition, you train him accordingly. It is a duty of the father to educate his son both in religion and morality. So two things are there. Religion and morality. Both things have to be taught. As the father's duty is to see the children raised very nicely so that in future he may be very happy. Not just immediate happiness. Shreyaha preyaha. The ultimate happiness is very much important. And it is the duty of the father not that simply to feed him and make him fatty. Not just maintain him means, oh, just feed him and see that he is happy, fatty. No. It is the duty of the father and mother to train the children in such a way that they will be interested in Guru and Krishna. So it is the duty of the parents so that children becomes interested in Guru and Krishna. The father and mother's duty should be that the child is born out of my womb and this should be the last phase of his life. So that he may not come in any other animal or man's womb and no more material body. It is the father's duty to raise his son to be a strong, useful citizen, and sometimes he must reprimand him for some mistake in order to teach. Not just goody. It has to be reprimanded when there is a mistake. Correction is also important. Because when you are as a child, when you are not corrected, you cannot correct it when it is grown. Generally we have a local saying, Mokkai vangande manai vanguna. So when you are a child, it has to be treated properly. Because when it grows, you will not be able to do anything later. So from the children, there is a guidance and there is correction. Because whenever we go astray, we have to be brought back online. Now this is the duties of father or parent. Now what are the duties of a son? A son is indebted to his parents in so many ways, and it is a duty of the son to serve his parent. However, son the great may be. Even though he may be the Supreme Lord, he is supposed to serve his parents. But the condition is the parent should also be devotees. In the absence of the father, it is the duty of the grown-up son to take in charge of the mother and take care of her so nicely that she will be able to forget the father's association. It is a duty of the son to depend upon his father without asking anything from him. The good son has his faith that the father knows what is best for his benefit. So completely depending upon the father so that he knows what is best for me. I need not separately endeavor. The duty of a son is to perform the Shraddha ritualistic ceremony after his father's death so that his father may be promoted to a planetary system where he may become a good citizen and a devotee. It is a duty of a son or a disciple to offer respects and recite suitable prayers when he approaches his father or a spiritual master. So now father is also considered as a spiritual master because he is on a devotee platform, not on material considerations. See, respect in material way is different, respect in spiritual terms is different. Son also gives service to the father and servant also gives service to the master. So there is affection either as master or servant or son and father. But it is the duty of the servant or son to give service to the Supreme. Because we are all sons of the Supreme, it is our duty to serve the Supreme. And finally it says, it is the duty of the son to be obedient to the father and to act according to his father. And this is what Manu is trying to explain. Obedient to the father and to act according to the order of the father. So, Vidura was a great personality, we all know. So, how by his religious discrimination, he was able to give good counsel. There was one entire section credited for him as Vidura Niti in Mahabharata. When Vidura came back to instruct Dhritarashtra, he gives technical details how a person should behave, like a king should behave, how a wise man should behave, who is a fool, who is an intelligent man, who is a pandita, like the technical details, he educated him. So much so that Dhritarashtra became inspired to quit the home and to become a renunciant and a yogi. In 1 week he is able to attain material liberation at least. He could not become a devotee, but he is able to become a yogi in 1 week. And he achieved perfection in 1 week. So, some of the teachings there, Vidura says, who is a wise man and what is his conduct? He says a wise man understands the properties and values of all intimate, inanimate and animate things. Means stavara jangama, animate and inanimate. So he knows all the propensities and value of everything animate or inanimate. Understands the consequences of his actions and actions of others. How I should behave and how others should behave. And he always watches the best practices adopted by others to achieve results. So like somebody may perform very nicely, out of enviousness I don't accept that. No. I try to accept all the best principles by all other people so that I need not waste my time in researching again and again. This is the symptom of a wise man. Further, good practices adopted by wise men. What do? They are active listeners. They quick grasping ability of what others are trying to convey. Not interfering into others' domain. We don't put our finger everywhere. Because door is open, let me go and put my finger there to get it crushed. No, we don't put that. So that is there one more thing. Not longing for results. Not running behind karma phala. And no false pride. When they perform, they do not exhibit that false pride. Next. Good practices adopted by further wise men. He acquires competence in at least one field. In Navavida Bhakti, at least one field he acquires competence. Develops an overall perspective in other fields. So he has a complete knowledge on one field and what is required from other fields, something like that. Never adopts shortcuts and soft options to achieve goals. No shortcut. Communicates effectively with all sections. And he is willing to learn from anybody. Not that I have to learn only from superiors. If somebody is from inferiors also, he can learn. Good can be perceived anywhere. Honey can be picked from everywhere. Gold can be picked even from dirt, from filth. So because gold is gold, it has its quality. And he always remains humble. Humility is the basic principle of the wise man. Then, some things, good practices further. He never seeks advice from the following 4. He never consults these 4 people. Persons with half-baked knowledge. Persons deliberately delay work. Inherently lazy people. And flatterers. Simply they glorify you. They keep a jockey and they keep lifting us. And suddenly we will fall. So these are called as artificial flatterers. If you have qualities which we glorify him, that is correct. He is a useless fellow and you are glorifying your greatest personality on here. He is, there are waste of endeavors, all these things. So these 4 categories of people, he will never interfere. He will never interact. And in this material world also, there are certain things we always look for. Whenever there is a festival, if you want to purchase any item, we will see any nearby festival is there, because we get offers. So we have to be very careful. When you are saying offer, it comes with an obligation. So when we buy jealousy, we get headache for free. When we buy jealousy, we get headache. When we buy anger, we get acidity for free. You become angry, inside you will be jangry. It will start burning and it creates acidity. When we buy hate, we get ulcer for free. And when we buy stress, BP for free. So when somebody is too much stressed and anxiety, naturally he becomes a BP patient. Similarly, when we buy trust, then friendship is received for free. These are the earlier things, are the negative things. Now they are the positive things. If you buy trust, you will get friendship. We buy exercise, we get health for free. If we buy peace, we get good sleep for free. If we buy prayers, we get peace of mind. If we buy love, we get God's mercy for free with all good quality. The whole principle is love of God. You buy that love of God, we'll get all good qualities and Lord's mercy automatically. These may be material terms. Now we have to decide what we wanted to buy. But technically, everything is interrelated. You buy one, you get the other one. So Bhagavatam glorifies about importance of devotion service. It says, Kayena vacha manasendriyairva buddhyatma va anushruta svabhavat karoti yat yat sakalam parasmai narayaneti samarpayet. In the 11th canto, the second chapter itself, this is between the prachetas, Nimi and conversation between other munis. So there it says, Anushruta Swabhavat, according to one's Swabhava, personal nature, as acquired in this conditioned life, Kayena Vacha Manasendriyarva, as per this body, Kaya, Vacha by words, Manasa by their mind, Indriyarva or by senses, Buddhya Atmanava or by their intelligence or by their purified consciousness. What one should do? Tat karoti yat yat sakalam samarpayet. One should offer everything unto that personality. Parasmai Narayana iti. Thinking that Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is for your pleasure. So it is duty of everyone with all their body, mind, senses, intelligence and consciousness to offer everything in their capacity to the Supreme Lord Narayana. This is for your pleasure. This is the duty of everyone. Next. Then how do we gain bhakti? Smarantaha smaryantasya mito aghauga haram harim bhaktya sanjataya bhaktya bibarti utpulakam tanum. So, pure devotees, smarantaha, smarataha, smaryayantaha. Smarantaha means they develop this ecstatic love simply by remembering. Smaryantaha sha mitaha, by reminding others of the Supreme Lord. This is a duty. Pure devotees, when they remember about the Supreme Lord, they become ecstatic. And when others speak also, they become ecstatic. Next, about the Supreme Lord who is Agavoga Harim Hari. That Hari, Supreme Lord, who takes away everything inauspicious from the devotee. Agavoga, all the sinful reactions are taken away. Harim, he steals away from the devotee. Then, Bhaktya Sanjataya Bhaktya. One can attain devotion from another devotee only. Bhakti can be attained only from one more Bhakta. You cannot attain no other way. If you want to become a devotee, you have to associate with one more devotee. Bhaktya Sanjataya Bhaktya. By that, Bibarti Utpulakam Tanum. Then one comes to the platform of spontaneous love for the Supreme Lord. A candle can be light from one more fire only. You cannot light it elsewhere. Only a fire can light one more fire. So bhakti can be taken up only from one more devotee, not from anybody else. And further it says, a devotee like Vrutrasura, he is praying. He says, Mama uttama shloka janeshu sakyam samsara chakre brahmata swakarma bihi tvan mayaya atma atmaja dhara graheshu asakta chittasya nanata bhuya. He is saying, oh my dear Nata, my Supreme Lord, my Master, Brahmataha, I have been wandering. Where? Samsara chakra, in the cycle of material world, birth and death, I am wandering in the cycle of birth and death. For what? Swakarma bihi. As a result of my fruitive activities, as I had done my karma, I am roaming around in this Abrahma Bhavana local. Therefore, Sakyam, I simply seek friendship. Uttama Shloka Janeshu, from the association of your pious and enlightened devotees. So that asaktaha, I become detached from Atma, my body, Dhara, my wife, Atmaja, my sons, Geheshu, from the home, and Tvat Mayaya, which is continuing your which is continuing the spell of your external energy. Tvat Mayaya, which is binding me in this material world. I become detached from this, and na, I do not wish to be no longer attached to them. Na asaktaha. Then asakta chittasya, let my mind be engaged, and consciousness, everything I have, bhuyad, only unto you. So the devotee's prayer, they want only association of devotees, so that they become detached from this material world and become attached to the Supreme Lord. The whole perspective here is like they are trying to discuss about Bhagavad Katayam. Bhagavad Katayam includes Bhakta Kataya. Without Bhakta, there is no Bhagavad. Entire Bhagavatam is the interaction of the Supreme Lord with his devotees. How different devotees have performed practically their bhakti, so that we all can become inspired by them and we all can take practical guidance from them. And for that purpose, there are various means and ways how different instructions will be taught to us. Like we are all doing this Kartik month. What is so special in this Kartik month? Why everybody is encouraged to perform this Damodara Arati? So there is one story spoken by Lord Krishna himself to Satyabhama Devi in Padma Purana, which explains the glories of this Kartik month. He says, there was one Brahmana by name Daneshwar in the city of Avanti. But because of bad association, he fell from his position, and he so degraded that he had to maintain himself by selling liquor, blankets, animal skins, and he behaved very falsely, rudely, everything and all. His mind was always addicted to stealing, prostitutes, drinking and gambling. With all glorious qualities of Kali Yuga, he is enriched with all those glorious qualities. And once while traveling about for selling his items, he used to sell those items everywhere. So they cannot be in one place. They are like nomads. So different cities they had to visit, and they had to sell the items there. So he arrived in the city of Mahishmati near Narmada river. So for 1 month he had stayed there because there was a big religious congregation. He thought by staying there he will be able to do big business, because the entire month people will be coming and there will be big opportunity for him to do business. So during that time he observed many men are coming from different directions, and they follow various vows for that month in Kartika. So while walking on the bank of Narmada for selling his goats, he saw there were many devotees who were bathing in the river while reciting prayers, and they are worshipping their deities. He was full of curiosity. He saw some men reciting a Purana while others were listening to it. There was lectures going on, Harikatha going on, and some are glorifying Lord Vishnu with dancing, singing and musical instruments. He saw some people were making different symbols on their body like conch, disc, all these things, various things. They are decorating their body with the symbols of the Lord. He saw while others were wearing prasadam garlands and tulsi garlands on their body, glorifying the Lord's mercy upon them. So wandering about every day, he came in repeated contact with the devotees of the Lord. He observed their devotional activities, and he heard the name of Lord Vishnu from their mouths all the time when he was there outside. So in that way he spent his 1 month time. At the end of that 1 month, all the Vaishnavas did awake for that last Kartika Paurnami day. They were all awake for the satisfaction of the Lord, and they were fasting to finish the Kartika Vrata. So on that full moon day, he saw various kinds of worship are being done, and there were gift giving, danas were happening, feasts were being fed, and lamps were offered. So while observing all these functions, suddenly he was bitten by a Kala Sarpa, and he fell to the ground. So seeing his condition, some devotees came there, gathered around him. Out of pity, they sprinkled some water, Charanamrita, upon him, which has washed the lotus feet of the Lord, and there was tulsi inside it. So they sprinkled upon his body. So within few moments he passed away. Then servants of Yamaraj came there to bind him, and they were angrily beating him with whips and taking him to the place of Yamaraj, Samyamani, Narkaloka. So Chitragupta, the assistant of Yamaraj, he was studying his entire sinful tendencies, and he was saying he had done so many sinful activities in his life that he's supposed to reside in hell for so many lakhs and lakhs of, it's almost like eternally in hell. That many sinful activities he has performed. So he is like sinful personification or sinful incarnate. Sin incarnate. So many sins he has performed. So he is supposed to roast in hell till the destruction of the universe. Roasting all every day, morning till night, roasting. So Yama became very concerned, and he immediately informed his servants, look after this dead, take care of him, torment him with your iron clubs, put him in the hell known as Kumbhipaka, and boil him in the oil. So when he was taken there to Kumbhipaka, when he was thrown into the oil, suddenly the entire hell became as cold as ice. The oil was so cold, it became freezing. So and everybody were wondering, how is this? Hell, the continuous roasting place stopped everything. And everything became so cold. So they immediately went back to Yamaraj and informed him what had happened. So Yamaraj became very curious, and he came there. How is that? And he began to consider the matter. So just then Narada Muni arrived there. After being honoring by Yamaraja, Narada Muni started explaining to him, it is not right for this person to suffer in hell because he had too much association of the devotees for 1 month. So he is free from all his sinful reactions. Ya punya karmanam kuryat darshana sparsha bhashanam tad sadamsham avapnoti punyasya niyatam naraha. Because one who touches darshana, sparsha, bhashanam, either sees, touches or talks with the devotees, he gets tat shadamsham, the 1/6 of the merit potency. Punyasya nityam naraha. That person he will attain, because of the association of the devotees, he was able to gain 1/6 of their punya. Since for the entire month of Kartika he had innumerable contacts with persons, so he took their share of their religious merit. So he enjoyed, his sukriti went up so much and destroyed all his major sins. And Vishnu devotees favored him at the time of death by chanting the holy name and by sprinkling the water that has washed the lotus feet with tulsi. Therefore he cannot be punished in hell. So he is now deserves a highest position. So as Narada Muni finished his words, Yamaraja realized the capacity of Dhaneshwar, religious merit. He ordered him to be taken away from here, from all, just to show him what is the torture of hell. As a token things, because he has been cleaned up of all these things, because he is supposed to go 1 round, एक round दिखा के जो factory में पूरा क्या क्या चल रहा है, इधर कौन सा hell में क्या क्या चल रहा है. There are 28 categories of hell. So each hell was taken there, and he was given a tour, study tour. Like somebody comes to our Akshay Patra, we'll take them around and we'll show what is happening everywhere. So something, he was given a tour of Naraka. In detail, everything was described to him, the torturing techniques and everything and all. Then after this, finally he was taken to Kuvera's kingdom, and he became a follower by becoming known as Danyaksha. Just by association with the devotees, material things, he became liberated from the person. And similarly, Lord Krishna continues with 2 more small stories. In the temple of Kashi, Varanasi, there was one Vishnu temple, Bindu Madhav. So one day, evening times, people offer that ghee lamps. Because in that bati there is ghee, rats would like to eat that ghee. And rats would used to come, and once the lamp is off, they would like to squeeze out the ghee from that lamp. One day, one rat came there out of curiosity before the lamp is not yet finished, and it grabbed that bati, which is still burning. And because there is ghee and there is fire, and it started catching the fire fastly, and this body, because it is entrapped into this mouth, and its whole body started burning. And because it was burning, if there is fire, what we do? We try to roll to stop the fire. The rat which is burning along with the ghee, with that lamp, it started rolling in front of the deity. So what is happening there? The Lord is saying, oh, the ghee with its body is offering arti to me. The Lord took in such a way that immediately Vaikuntha Vimana came and took that rat in a four-armed form and went back to Vaikuntha. So this is one perspective. And similarly, one more story is mentioned. So there was one rat which was running behind this ghee. And because wherever there are rats, there is cat. So the rat was running, and behind that the cat was running. And with this lamp, this rat is running around, and it did 3 times parikrama of the deity. And Lord became so satisfied, oh, this rat is running out of my parikrama with a lamp. Lord became so satisfied that immediately he sent a Vimana from the spiritual world and took him back home, back to God. So we see, this is a small thing. People generally, they don't know. They just come to the temple, oh, the lamp was given to them, they will offer. But the Sukriti, what do they gain? The opportunity to hear Kirtan. And if there is some opportunity to associate with the pure devotee in the form of a book, or even by just paying obeisances to Prabhupada, they are making their life on the opportunity of going back home, back to God. So this is that benefit what we can give for other unfortunate people. Make them fortunate. How we became fortunate? We should pass on that fortune to others. We'll stop here. Any questions? So before that, I'll just say one small poem, song was there by a devotee by name Vaishnava Das. Nachere nachere mora Rama Damodara. Yashoda Mata is saying to Krishna and Balarama, dance, my dear Rama Damodara. Yata nacha tabadiba kshira nani dhara. The more you dance, I am going to give you more sweet rice and other things. Ami nahi deki bacha nacha arbhara. So I did not see you dance properly. Once again you dance. Galaya gantiya dhiba manimaya hara. So dance again, then I'll give you a garland of jewels. Tatai, tatai, tatai bole Nandarani. Kare tali dila nache Rama Yaduvani. So as she was tapping her hand and she was giving directions about the song, Krishna and Balarama are dancing according to the tune of Yashoda Maya. Rama Kanu ore mora, ore Rama Kanu. Mani Maya churi maje, Jalamala Tanu. Yashoda Maya is singing. Oh my dear Rama, oh my dear Kana. Oh my dear Rama, oh my dear Kana. You look so beautiful with your effulgent bodies and jeweled crowns on your heads. In that way, Krishna and Balarama are dancing to the tunes of his mother Yashoda. The devotee is perceiving in that mode, so that, like how devotee is able to control the Lord, how the devotee is able to express his love for the Lord. And Krishna is very good at reciprocating according to his devotees. So always be under the guidance of senior Vaishnavas, under the shelter of pure devotees. Because Krishna says, those who claim as my devotees are not my devotees, but those who are devotees of my devotees are actually my devotees. So if we think I am very closer to Krishna, I am next to Krishna, means we are not even close, we are not even nearby, we are very, very far off Krishna. For those who are thinking they are servant of servant of servant, Gopi Bharta Padakamaliyor, Dasa 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 Anugata, the principle of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we should become the servant of servant of servant of Vaishnava. Then our life is assured, going back home, recognized by Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Nitai Gaur Prabhupada.
శ్రీకృష్ణుణ్ణి చేరుకోవడానికి బృందావనం వైపు ఉరకలేస్తున్న యమునోత్రి, కైలాసం చేరుకోవడానికి పరుగులు తీస్తున్న గంగోత్రి, శంకరుణ్ణి శాంతపరచడం లక్ష్యంగా పాండవులు నిర్మించిన కేదార్నాథ్, ఆధ్యాత్మిక సాధనకు స్ఫూర్తినిచ్చే ఆ నరుడు నారాయణుడు నడయాడిన ప్రదేశం బద్రీనాథ్. ఈ 4 ధామాల దివ్య దర్శనమే మన చార్ధామ్ యాత్ర ప్రతి భారతీయుడి ఆకాంక్ష. రండి ఈ మహోన్నత యాత్రలో భాగస్వాములమవుదాం.
హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణవాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణవాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి